Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and there's 2 different levels that you can, subscribe to, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows. So if you are far away and you couldn't make our last live show, it will be on the website. We're going to record this future live show. It's going to be on Patreon, but also bonus episodes each month. You guys tell us all the time you want more episodes. This is a way for you to get more episodes. So you're going to get our basic Tuesday, Thursdays that we always put out, right? But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
I can't wait to talk about in detail some more stories because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
They just unsubscribed. This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. So if that is breaking some of your hearts, just go ahead and subscribe now. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/bloodyhappyhour.
Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody happy hour.
All right, this is Bloody Happy Hour, and sometimes we switch names because sometimes we call each other the wrong names.
Oh, by the
Even
way,
when we're not
happy
drinking.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Is this coming out on a Thursday?
Yes.
Oh.
And I'm wearing orange and black because I'm a pumpkin.
Yay.
And I can't look at you anymore in this episode because the sun is in my eyeballs. But what are we drinking? Same thing as last week. Look at us.
Modelo Ranch Water, my newest favorite.
You can pour some in when you want.
Caroline has your trusty old vodka.
It's just.
I'm over it. I finished my last Tito's bottle, and I'm like, you know what? I'm better than that. I'm going tequila.
I agree.
And whiskey.
One of my friends, that's all she does is drink tequila, but
I feel like vodka gives me a little small
she just
headache.
does tequila shots. So
With lime.
Orange.
Yeah.
With an orange,
Oh.
not lime.
I don't even.
It's way better. It's not sour.
It's refreshing. I
Mhm.
like sour though. Mm.
You would. We're gonna go to Florida.
I love Florida. What part have I been there?
It's called, hang on, Apalachicola.
No.
Yes, it
It's
is.
Indian territory.
Maybe. Apalachicola. But this girl's from Miami. Apalachicola is not far, maybe from Tallahassee. Looks like over on the little part that sticks
Oh, yeah.
out that way. I don't know. So, also, this story just came out on 48 Hours. That's how I saw it. Like 4 days ago.
You watched 48 hours? You watched the preview to the story?
I did.
48
And then I had to watch the whole thing.
From beginning to end?
Yes.
Hello.
So, it's April 23rd, 2018. A body was located on the side of the road, this like deserted road near Highway 98. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, but it was
Scenic
close by a
98.
highway.
Yeah.
So this body was just kind of laying across the ditch, covered in lacerations to the face, to the stomach, to the legs, beaten up, bloody, bruised, everything. And they had suffered a extremely violent death, and police described it as overkill.
Did you say near the water or no?
Well, I'm sure there was water nearby. But yeah, they were just left in she was just left in like the ditch. Yeah, just threw out. So let's go to she also had, let's see. Okay, I'll get to that. So we're going to Apalachicola, Florida. It's a Gulf Coast town. And there was a couple who was like going to go fishing this pond, and they are the ones that came across the body.
Okay.
Laying there.
Dang it.
And this was on April 23rd, 2018. But the following day, police get a call from this place called the Sportsman Lodge Motel.
Oh, sounds like a little sketch.
And when the housekeepers went in to go clean this room, room 15, the title of the episode is called like
Room 15.
Aileen. Oh my God, I didn't even have her last name. Aileen Seiden, room 15 or something like that.
Okay.
So, housekeeper
what's
goes in.
the hotel called again?
Sportsman Lodge Motel. Motel. You been there?
Motel. No, I would not. Anything with lodge and motel, I'm not going to stay there.
If I learned that motel means door opens to the outside world, I can't.
And you don't do it?
No, that's not safe. Unless you're like, I don't know, getting murdered or doing drugs or homeless. Or it just reminds me of scary movies because every time they stop at a motel,
yeah,
and then it like the sign is halfway going out, it's raining, the Bates Motel.
Yeah. Let me tell you about this homeless person I just saw. You would love him. He was pushing his cart. You know, they have like the...
Was the Dollar General?
It was
the
not.
Yellow one?
No, it wasn't
yellow. Because I was out a couple weekends ago and I was pushing a Dollar General cart.
General?
Yeah.
I love me some Dollar General. No, he was pushing his cart right here on the street of the Alico, and he had 4 dogs. No. It was on Herring. He had 4 dogs. So he was
rescuing dogs.
Usually they'll have all their belongings in the shopping cart. Like just everything that they have. Dogs. All his dogs.
You know, I'm not mad at him.
And he was pushing them because they probably needed a rest. And I said, this is probably Caroline's favorite homeless person ever.
Okay, that is facts. And also, let me squirrel one more time because that reminded me of back to Sarah Boone, the trial. She had 2 dogs, but one was deaf and one was blind.
What?
It just adds to her story of she's just an odd duck, and I'm not.
She's trying to get sympathy.
Yeah. She showed pictures of the dogs and talked. But George, I think also I think he was disabled. When I looked at the picture, he looks disabled. Okay, we canceled.
You're done.
Yep, we're done. Okay, back to the Sportsman Lodge Motel. So people come in to clean the room and they're like, oh my gosh, furniture's on the ground, sheets are missing, and there's a bloodstained mattress. So clearly there's been something like a murder, right? So they call police go there, and now they have a body that's been dumped, and then not far away from that is where this motel is that they found that they get the call about. So it's like the day after, found the body, the next day, get the call from the motel.
What happened and what did the call say at the hotel? I already forgot because we talked about homeless people.
They just said that there was, the room was disheveled, that the furniture was overthrown, there was, sheets were off of the bed, and the mattress was soaked in blood, and there's blood in the bathroom.
Okay,
just
so
like
it's a crime scene.
Yeah. So they call police. They're like, it looks whatever, and the police get there, and they're like, oh, this is for sure. This is a ton of blood, and it's likely that somebody has been killed because of the amount of blood that they had. So then that's why they were like, okay, let's put 2 and 2 together. Maybe it's the body that was just found the day before.
Yes.
So
I just want one interaction like this.
I know. Well, go to Florida. I'm sure you'll find a lot. So the police found smelled vinegar in the room. And they were thinking like, okay, maybe somebody's obviously trying to clean this place up. They did a luminol test and they did traces for human blood. That was revealed in the test. The whole entire bathroom lit up. Shower curtain, the shower curtain rod was like off and there was like a bloody hand palm print on it. And they think that was like one of the weapons that was used to beat
the rod.
Yeah.
Oh.
To beat her. And they did blood tests, and when blood tests came back, that's whenever they found out who the person who the blood was from, which was Aileen Seiden.
Spell it.
Sieden.
Okay.
Aileen. So it came back for her, and then confirmed that was her. So let's talk about who she is.
Okay. Hope she's not bubbly.
She is not bubbly. She grew up in Miami. She has an older sister, and whenever she was 9 years old, her mom passed away from cancer. 6 years later, her dad, who was a successful furniture manufacturer, I think he owned a business, and so she maybe got, they got money from the death, but I think she had like a pretty good inheritance kind of built up.
Okay. While she's staying in
so
a motel.
the older sister's Francesca, and then Aileen is the younger one. 9 years old, Eileen's mom dies of cancer. 6 years later, dad Frank dies of a heart attack. So then this leaves 14-year-old Aileen as an orphan, and her sister, who's 22 years old, is like her legal guardian, becomes her legal guardian. Takes her to school, picks her up from school, all while she's also going to school and working. So she just basically becomes like a mom. And Aileen was super close with her dad. And so when he died, it was just like a sudden heart attack and he died. And it happened so quickly that Francesca is coming out and she's just like, I don't think I really grieved it. And I don't think that she really grieved it. We just kind of like
had to roll with it.
Went and had to figure it out. And so she says, then this Francesca, the sister, ends up moving like 7 years later to LA. And she said that's when she thinks that Aileen kind of started grieving, because then she was like by herself. But she just became more sensitive, she said. But she was also like strong and determined, and she was going to go get a job and live on her own. And she did. And she started working as a project manager for an apartment. She paid rent. She paid the bills. Very independent. And I got like in 2016, Aileen went to visit Sister Francesca in LA. It says for just an extended period of time. I'm guessing a few weeks or something like that. She maybe thought about like moving there because the sister was like, well, I really wish that she would have decided to stay, obviously.
Yeah.
Because of what happened. But she just decided to go back to Miami. But when she went back to Miami, she reconnected with Zach.
Who's Zach?
Oh, Zach Abel. He was like, they knew each other when they were like teenagers. He was kind of a bad boy or like got into trouble, but she was like, I mean, we'll just see if he's still the same.
Yeah, maybe he changed.
Maybe he's changed.
People never change.
So they end up dating. And this kind of brings us to, let's talk about this man in a boat. So they end up dating, okay?
Captain Dan?
And kind of. He is a captain. He's Boatman Mike, okay?
Okay.
So they start dating. Okay, pause, go to this next thought. It's 2018. We're going to fast forward a little bit because we go to my boat, what
Mike, Captain Mike.
Boatman Mike. He knows all the players in the game. So that's why he's coming in. And he is saying that he knew who Zach was, and he knew that he was very entertaining and he's like extroverted. And he had met Zach 7 years ago at a bar. Zach had come up to him and complimented his shirt. And the guy was like, thanks. Like it was odd. He said it was odd, but he was like, okay. But then after Zach had come up to him, then this other girl, Christina, came up to him. And at the time, Christina and Zach were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay.
So
Eileen's
guy who she's reconnected with in the past, this is kind of going back in the past, so kind of their history.
Okay.
So Christina comes up to talk to Boatman Mike along with Zach and is like, let me just tell you that my dad is a police officer, and if we do anything, he'll get us out of trouble. But she did not say it like that because she looked way like Aileen is like cute and hot, and these other 2 people, oh my God, you're gonna die. So, she comes up. Yeah, she says, if you get in any trouble with the law, my dad is a Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department officer or something like that. And Mike thought that's like a weird thing to say. Like, hey, nice to meet you. My dad's a police officer. I don't know. I don't really know if I'd say that first. So one day later on, Zach goes by Mike's boat. And this time he was not with Christina. Instead, he introduced Mike to Aileen. And Mike could tell that Zach now had 2 women in his life.
Sometimes that happens.
I don't know how he could tell or what the deal was, but we're going to figure out why. So it's kind of, he kind of was confused, and he was like, Zach had told him he was trying to break up with Christina, wait, did I tell you who Christina is? Oh yeah.
The girlfriend right now.
Yeah. So I already forgot.
Okay.
So he was talking to Mike about, he's like, yeah, well, I've been really trying to break up with Christina, but it's just like, I can't make a clean break because we're also business partners. And he's like, I'm trying to end it, but she keeps threatening me all the time. She keeps telling me she's going to make me disappear. And she says all this weird stuff. And so he's like secretly dating Aileen. But he really wants to get rid of Christina. But then Christina's like, well, my dad's a police officer. He gonna make sure you go down. Or I got video on you. Or I got this on you. Like being crazy.
Wait, but Aileen isn't, okay. Eileen's in the ditch. Now I'm thinking, are Aileen and him going to conspire to kill Christina, but Eileen's in the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Aileen really started to like love Zach. I was like, she was really falling for him.
Well, and she probably still missed her daddy.
And she really wanted him to be like, cut it off with Christina, like end it. And he would like lead her and be like, yeah, I'm doing it. Or yeah, it's like happening and blah, blah, blah. Well, 2017 comes around. So this is, when did they meet? Like 2016. So it's been a couple months, maybe a year. And Aileen loses her job as property manager at the apartment.
Uh-oh.
She was starting to lose control of her life, but she did eventually get a new job. And let me tell you where she got her job
At the Motor Lodge.
God, is that a used car dealership?
Oh, no. That's where she was staying.
Yeah, but guess what? You know how I said that Zach and Christina were business partners?
Uh-huh.
They owned a used car dealership.
Used car dealership?
Mm-hmm. And so then Aileen started to work there.
You just made your life a little bit messier, Zach. That's not how you play the field.
But like Aileen was still pressuring Zach to break up with Christina for good. But Zach finally was like, I tried. And actually, we kind of have a proposal.
Oh, join us. Wait, but Christina's ugly and Eileen's cute.
Yeah, I know. Christina just like can't like. I took pictures. Okay. Aileen, Zach, Christina, and then Christina.
Oh.
Christina done 8 Aileen. So
Christina
they're like, well, we have a proposal. I think we should all be in a relationship. This is when we get into our thruple era.
Polyamory.
Do you want to know how many times this episode they said thruple? I think they like got off on saying thruple.
Did they make that up? Is that a thing?
No, it's a thruple. It's a three.
cup-
No, I'm going to define it to you because I guess you've never heard it.
Thank you.
And so this is when the thruple opportunity arose. I said to myself, thruple, aka three-way, is a romantic relationship among three people.
That's a whole lot.
But I did not know it was actually a relationship. I mean, I guess it's because you can have like a three-way
threesome-
or a threesome, but you don't have to
This
be
means
in a
it's a
relationship. So like they were both officially dating him. Like he was their like Mormon daddy or something.
Okay. I just had a friend that posted on her story.
That did a throuple?
So you tell me this.
Okay.
She moved to a bigger city.
I'm the throuple expert.
Moved to a big city, and she posted a picture of a new guy, and she was like, my man. And then the next picture on the story was her and a girl, and it said, my baby. So does that mean
Does she
they
have
might
a
be in a
kid?
throuple? No, it's another girl her age. So a grown man, and then the next picture was my baby, and it's a grown woman. So then I was like,
Yeah, I feel like that's
are they in a
probably-
throuple?
Yeah,
So I'm
I think
going to
they're
ask her
I think
if she's
they're
in a
doing
throuple.
thruples. I think they're in their throuple era. Just say, are you in
She's
your throuple era?
capable of being. She lives her best life.
You know,
I'm not
sometimes
judging.
I'm not either. Because sometimes you just have to be a hoe and not a housewife. And I've heard about that. So listen to this.
I actually need to ask her right now.
Do it. Do a little live call-in. If you have ever experienced a throuple, you can call us at 1-375-829-B. If you call that number, let me know who answers. So initially, Aileen was like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing no throuple. Absolutely not. There ain't no way. It's never going to work. A few moments later. You know that meme?
They're in a throuple. Full threesome.
She had to change her heart. And now the trio was a throuple.
They gave her some pink powder.
With the pink cocaine. But before the dynamic changed, one of them was always the odd man out because I feel like Christina's real demanding and commanding, and she gonna eat you if you don't watch out. And she just does not seem like a good person, and she was very controlling, and I don't even know. Yeah. So according to Boatman Mike, he said things started to escalate. And whenever they got into this throuple and they would have fights, the girls would have fist fights and they would show up with like black eyes and they would wear sunglasses to cover their black eyes.
It never works in threes. Like,
No,
it just does
even when we
not.
did Skylar Niece and you have a group of three girls that are
Yes,
friends.
It never works in threes.
Apparently it never works in anything except for maybe one.
Just one. That's the only way. It's the only way you're
One
safe.
plus two dogs. It works great.
In your shopping cart.
In your shopping cart. So he was like, yeah, they're like getting in fights with each other, punching each other. And then there's this person who is Eileen's friend who comes out, but she has no name. So we just call her friend.
Okay.
We can make up a name for her.
Jessica.
Okay. So friend Jessica, says that she remembers that Aileen had said things different about Zach and that he was the aggressor because why is Christina beating her up? But then the friend is like, well, she would call me telling me how Zach would beat her up. And so she was just like, he would call her and say, Zach hurt me and come over here and take pictures. And Jessica was begging Aileen to go to the police, and then she wouldn't because she was like, well, I mean, Christina's dad is a police officer and she's going to use that against me.
Wait, okay.
Yes.
Jessica is Eileen's friend.
Uh-huh.
Eileen said Zach was beating her up.
Yes.
Who said Christina was beating her up?
Boatman Mike.
Oh, okay.
But she's too scared to call the police about her being beat up because
her daddy's a cop.
Because Christina keeps using this. Yeah, my daddy a cop, and he gonna whatever.
So she was just saying, other boy was for substitutive Christine, or they both were whooping her ass?
I think they both were, but I don't.
This is a real dysfunctional throuple. It's supposed to be.
It's so I've
maybe
never,
fun.
if I've experienced a throuble, I've never been in a violent situation.
No.
And if I was going to, I would not want to be in a violent throuple.
No.
And they would be cute.
And it needs to be fun.
I know.
That's like,
What is wrong with this story? You know what? I might just do podcast over because this is dumb. I'm just kidding. So, all the things are going on. So,
it's too much work.
Jessica is the one who, let's see, she had to take, at this one point, Aileen to the ER because her bruises and her stuff was so bad. And then, of course, they try to take a report and be like, who did this to you? And she wouldn't say.
Aileen.
And Jessica, the friend, was like, Aileen, you have to break up with this guy. Because at that point, I don't think she knew about Christina, the friend.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay.
And she was like, or somebody's going to end up dead.
Which is you, Aileen.
Which is you, Aileen.
Because if you're not the killer, you're going to get killed if your name's Aileen.
Yeah. So that was like 2016, 2017. We're back in 2018 where we're getting close to the time to where the body is discovered. And this is, even though, they've had this volatile relationship, Aileen is like,
Missing
hey
her daddy.
guys, I think I need to just go ahead and move in with y'all.
Jeez. No. Poor Aileen. She's having daddy issues. She misses her daddy. Her family's all over. She just wants some type of like love and affection.
I know. And she found the one guy who's with the psycho crazy person who won't go away. So now they're throupling all over together. They're throupling at work. They're throupling in the bed. They're throupling at the house. They're just happy little throuple couple. But they ain't happy.
And then that's going to cause some dysfunction. You can't live together, work together. You can't do
Too
it all.
much.
Not this early.
So Jessica goes and she's like, Aileen said that she's trapped in this relationship due to finances and that she's going to give it a month or two and just see how it goes.
No, go move with sister. What's sister's name?
Francesca.
Go move with Francesca.
She sounds very sophisticated.
I like Francesca.
So, just took a couple of weeks. Aileen was like, oh, I had enough. I'm moving out and I'm done with this relationship. That's what she told her Jessica friend. But her plans were halted on April 7th when Zach and Christina got into a violent fight. So Jessica gets a call from Aileen from Zach's phone. Zach and Aileen are fleeing and they're just taking a road trip. They're like, we got to get away from Christina. She's crazy. I'm just telling you what we're doing. And they go. And Christina then, I guess at this point, Jessica knows about Christina because Christina calls Jessica.
Okay.
And Christina like, I'm so mad. I'm going to report she threatened to report the car that was like, she's going to say it was stolen. And I guess that's all she did. Like, okay, report that the car's stolen. But
she's mad she didn't get her way.
And then the friend then calls back Aileen and she's like, Christina said she's going to call and say, oh, y'all car stolen. And she's like, oh, it's fine. We're going on a road trip anyways. We're going to Georgia. And friend's like, well, don't you need all your stuff? You just left all your stuff at home. And friend's like, no, we're just going. So they go, they're on the road, and now they're starting to get all these text messages from Christina because she cannot deal. Ooh. She cannot deal. She is texting Zach over and over. She sends him more than 150 texts in 24 hours. Ooh, bitch going crazy. All went unanswered. One of them said, my dad will be calling you.
But her dad's probably not even a police officer.
He is, but I'm like, I guarantee her dad knows that she is batshit
crazy. It's probably because of him.
Yeah. And another text message was like, you fucked me over and now I'm fucking you over.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. About 48 hours into the road trip, Zach and Aileen, now they're heading to Texas. Oh, hell. And Christina...
Don't come to Texas with this bull.
Hell, I know. Christina, she started to have a change of heart by this point. So she texted and she's like,
I'm sorry.
if you want to come back home, come back.
I took my bipolar medicine.
You never have to question my love.
Oh.
How precious is that?
What
So,
stage is
but
that
instead of coming home, Zach was like, oh, Christina, why don't you just come to Dallas?
on? Zach.
Zach, Zach, she gives good BJs? I mean, is it worth it? Okay. So now we have a reunited throuple. Old problems return. Eileen starts to call Jessica from Zach's phone at night and is like, oh my gosh, things are getting really bad. I don't know what to do.
And they're in Dallas?
They're in Dallas. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that's where they had the reunited. And then it started happening again. And she's like, I don't know what to do. It wasn't until Christina got here that it started getting violent. And then about day 10 on the road trip, Eileen's sister Francesca, she's like, where is Eileen? I have not heard from her in days. And what is going on? Well, finally, Eileen calls sister Francesca, and now they're in New Orleans.
They're backtracking.
Yeah, they're going back. Yeah.
Okay.
So now they're in New Orleans, and she's talking to Francesca, and she tells Francesca her situation. Francesca's pissed that she's like even in this situation and has this throuple situation. But I think at some point she told her maybe a little earlier, and Francesca was like, whatever, do your thing. But now she's calling her in panic, and she tells her, I think they're going to kill me. She just tells her. And the sister's like, okay, well, leave. And she's like,
GTFO.
you need to leave. And she's like, she told her sister to run, call 911, but Eileen wouldn't. And so there was no address. And Francesca is like super frustrated because she can't do anything to help. And she's like, and then like the phone hangs up, and then that was it because she didn't talk to her. She had no way to, or she didn't talk to her after that. She had no way to help her before that.
You know what I would have said as big sister? You know what? They probably will. And if you don't leave right now, you deserve it. Like, I would be so pissed that I was telling you you're dealing with it and you're still staying in it. And then I would be really guilty when they found her body. I'd be
really
like,
guilty.
I told her she deserved it. Oh.
Yeah, you would be cursed forever. So the road trip continued. Now they're on their second week, and the throuple is headed to Panama City, Florida. But they missed the exit, and they ended up in Apalachicola. So it was April 21st, and they were seen on surveillance footage at this restaurant, Red Pirate. They played mini golf. They partied.
They're
throuple,
trying.
they really like to have shots, and they really like to drink.
And somebody couldn't handle their alcohol, obviously, because they got real violent.
Nope, they couldn't.
Alcohol makes me loving.
It just depends on the kind. Like, I think sometimes people get like angry on whiskey.
Spirits.
Like they get whiskey drunk.
That's why they call it the spirits.
Oh, I don't understand.
That's why
I thought everything was spirits.
Yeah, but on some people, the alcohol gives you those little mean demonic spirits.
Oh.
That's what the Indians used to call it. And they call it fire water. It would burn when it goes down. That's why we got fire water liquor stores.
Oh my God. I just learned so much. I had no idea.
Last week it was tequila. This week's it's...
No, it's Saint Tequila.
Okay.
So the throuple gets done at the restaurant golf party place, and they are like, let's just go stay at this motel. Oh, look, there's the Sportsman Lodge Motel. Room 15? Oh, it's open. Let's go.
Looks real safe.
Super safe. Then the next morning.
What's his name?
Zach?
Anthony Bates? No. From Bates Hotel. He's running it. It's fun. It's real safe.
Yeah. And so they made a plan. They're going to stay one more night. So before the night even starts, they go straight to a liquor store where they buy a handle of vodka and a handle of Fireball.
What?
Big ass Fireball.
And they're probably cheap. So it's probably like Taco vodka.
And this Christina was like with her spaghetti strap, with her overflow, all these tattoos and her red hair, and just, it was like fake red. It wasn't cute red.
Oh, no.
And then you got Eileen over here with her cute fake boobs and a little tank top, and she's
Why
super
was she
cute.
wasting her time on there?
I don't know. So, friend Jessica talks to Aileen this day. It's on the 22nd. And Aileen is like, I need to leave him. I'm telling you, I'm like a sex slave. He has this really scary look in his eyes. It's scary. It's so different. And so then together they come up with this escape plan.
Jessica or friend Jessica?
Friend Jessica. So Aileen was going to get on a bus to go to Tampa, and she didn't have her wallet. So friend Jessica was like, hey, I'm going to buy your bus ticket, and you just get out of there and get on that bus and come to Tampa, and like, we'll figure it out.
F the wallet.
Yeah. And she's like, all you got to do is get on the Greyhound bus. Once you're there, it's like a movie if she would have got on it. And the bus would drop her off, and Jessica would take her home. Jessica never heard from Aileen again.
How far was Jessica? Could she not have gone to get her?
Jessica doesn't even like to have her name out there, so I don't even know where she lives compared to them.
Okay.
Because they're like, she had like a fake name.
Like she was probably like,
they called her
face was blurred out.
No, she wasn't even in the shadows. She was fully there. Just didn't want to use her name.
What?
I mean, ma'am, but I guess I don't know her name, so I don't.
So it works.
I
People in
guess
Florida would know her.
You would think, but no, she don't. They called her Allie, but I couldn't do Allie and Aileen. That was too close. 2 A's. Can't
Got
do
it.
it. So, the next night in Fort Lauderdale, Boatman Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody knocked on his door, and sure enough, it's Zach and Christina. And he was like, "Where's Aileen?"
We dropped her off.
Right where you left her? I don't know. We dropped her off. And Christina right away was like, she ran away. Just like that.
What?
Yeah.
Stupid.
And Mike was like, no, that's bullshit. I ain't buying it. And then Zach started like to choke up and said, she's dead.
Oh, Zach.
Zach, you were not lasting very long. He said, and then once Christina was out the way and out of earshot, Zach told him what happened. And he said, Christina killed her. She woke up. He woke up and she was dead.
Lies.
It's all a lie. Next to him, and he tried to give her CPR, and then he wanted to call 911, and Christina said, no, don't call 911. And Zach kept saying he wanted to, but then he wanted to protect Christina. And then Boatman Mike, he was like, listen, I'm DTF, and I'm going to call Christina daddy. Because if he the police, let me call him.
Call the popos.
So he did, and he did all these things, and he figured out whatever. Called up Officer Tony. It says colonel, but does that mean colonel?
What?
If the police officer dad was named colonel, I think it's colonel, but why is it spelled that way?
With the L?
Yes.
That's colonel.
Why is there? That makes no sense. It doesn't. I had a second. Why would you colonel when there's no R? There's no R. I don't understand.
This is staying in. Club Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco had the same exact conversation. Ocho Cinco was trying to put an R in colonel.
Why would it? Is this like a European word?
I don't know what it is, but that's colonel.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I was like, surely this is not really colonel, because I was like, I think I used to remember it as
it's colonel. Please say colonel for the rest of the episode.
Okay. So colonel Tony.
I'm gonna have an asthma attack.
Okay, Colonel Tony is the guy who's the police officer who's Christina daddy. So Mike finally gets a hold of Colonel Tony, and he did it immediately. Okay, but really, why does it not have an R? Okay, somebody, I know Cheryl's going to call about this, and she's going to be real mad, and I'm going to be like, Cheryl, I'm going to go to Korea, and she's going to have to get over it.
It's colonel, but do they mean colonel?
Like, how do you spell a popcorn kernel? Do you spell it
K?
colonel?
No, it's
exactly.
K-E-R-N-A-L.
It don't make no sense. I'm just trying to tell y'all that it doesn't make sense. So let's get back to the story. Mike finally got a hold of Colonel Tony, and he didn't immediately tell him, but then Colonel Tony was like, bro, meet me at the gas station. He's like, that's kind of odd, but okay. And as soon as they met, Christina, he told Officer Tony, Colonel Tony, Christina killed somebody. And Daddy says, you know I'm a cop, right? And he goes, yes, sir, I do. And he says, he brought him to, Colonel Tony brought Mike to the sheriff's office to make a formal statement. And then he was the one who identified Aileen.
Oh, Colonel Tony.
Boatman Mike.
Huh?
Boatman Mike identified Aileen
Oh,
because Mike took him, Tony took Mike to the station to give a statement, and then that's where they're like, okay, well, do you reckon can you identify the body? Because, like, who else can identify her?
Oh, man.
So.
And Sister Francesca's and Jessica, they're probably just back there, stomach sick, not knowing what's going on.
They're the worst. So then police go get Mike. I mean, go to Mike's house because that's where Zach and Christina are.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Boatman Mike's house. That's where Zach and Christina are. And he led them to it, and then they got arrested. Okay. Oh, so they were later charged with first-degree murder, and it took almost 6 years to go to trial.
Why? Because it's 2020 COVID.
Because, no, it happened in 18.
I know, but then by the time it would needed to go to
the
trial.
sister Francesca was like, it would be like, it was complicated because there was 2 defendants. That was first of all. But then they had delay after delay after delay after delay, of course.
So last year, we were just now trying all the trials that were supposed to happen in 2020.
Okay, well, this trial finally happened in January 2024.
Yeah. Damn.
Just happened. And Zach was going to face trial because he pled not guilty.
No, Zach, I don't believe you.
Pled guilty because that's what her daddy told her to do.
Mm-hmm. So they don't put the needle in you?
And they... first-degree murder. So he's going before a jury. But if you do get life in Florida, there's no with parole. There's no parole as an option. And so Christina took a plea deal. So then she's obviously on the prosecution side. And so then obviously she's the star witness. And so obviously she's testifying against Zach. Or Zach, as I would say. It's still with an H. And I don't understand why someone's still with an H. Sometimes spells the K. So she took a lesser charge of second-degree murder. No. Yes. They both had that charge. But she was not guilty, so it was going to be lesser. She admitted she took part in it. And she implicated herself in the actual beating of Aileen.
Okay.
But the prosecutors were like, well, we believe Zach is more responsible for the murder. And they were going to use Christina's version, obviously, of whatever the story was.
That's all they had.
Because that's all they had. So April 22nd, 2018, Christina testified that Zach and Aileen were relaxing in the room at the Sportsman Lodge Motel after a long day of heavy drinking. And she said that Zach acts different when he's drinking and that he gets really aggressive and mean.
I believe it.
And she said that Aileen pissed Zach off because she looked at Christina, whatever, and was like, Christina, guess what? And then Zach just all of a sudden blows up, goes over to her, starts hitting her in the face, starts yelling at her, and telling her that she always starts problems. And then Christina went over there and she started hitting Aileen, and she's like, what are you talking about? What are you about to say? And she never got an answer. And so then Christina was like, no, I never got an answer, so I just left the room. And then when I came back in the room a few minutes later, Zach and Aileen were in the bathroom, and he was poking her with the curtain rod. He had something white in his hand, and that's what he was using to
The
beat her.
curtain rod.
Yeah.
Damn.
So the medical examiner was able to identify some small circular bruising on her body that was consistent with the shower rod.
The end.
Yes. And also, they had those palm prints that were on the shower. And so
Yeah.
then that matched up to
Zach's.
Yes.
Or hers. Okay. Zach's.
palm print was to Zach, blood was Eileen's. And then they said that the assault continued near the bed where Zach had a wooden walking stick.
What?
And he used it to hit her several times in the back. Everywhere, just was like hitting her with it. They found pieces of that wooden stick on the ground, but they didn't really know what it like what happened. But then they had actually previously found pieces of that rest of that stick in the car and like in the vehicle they used to travel. But then once they tested it, they found it had her DNA on it, Eileen's DNA.
So it's probably
We doing broomstick.
attached to
A
her.
broomstick.
They sodomized her? No.
Christina said she
Kenneth
watched
Mitchell.
in terror as Zach began using the stick to sexually assault Eileen.
Do we believe her?
I don't know. I think
Probably
feel
because
they
he was the manipulative one that put it all on Christina when they got to Boatman Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So Christina was probably like, okay, I'm going to try to keep the secret. When he was like, let me just go ahead and say what happened, but I'm going to put the blame over here. She went
Yeah,
down
even
for it.
like a reporter who was in the courtroom had said that he thinks he found Christina's testimony as very credible.
But so is Sarah Boone almost. Like, they just know how to turn it off and turn it on. I think they both pretty guilty, but sodomizing?
Yeah. So he beat her until the stick broke, and then he raped her with the stick.
Why were you so mad? Because she was leaving? She probably told them that she was leaving.
She probably did. Christina said her description was so horrifying to listen to. This is what they said. And Eileen clearly suffered a very, very terrible death, and she suffered. And the medical examiner said that the injuries that they found for her, they've only seen those kind of injuries in motor vehicle crashes.
Damn.
Yeah, because some of the other things that she she had injuries inside her mouth, several broken ribs, a fractured skull, and massive internal hemorrhaging.
They probably tried to shove the shower rod down her throat.
I know, it's so bad.
Oh my gosh. You know what? It was him. And he don't even remember because he was so blackout drunk.
From his fireball.
Yeah.
Christina claims she eventually put herself between Zach and Eileen and that the attack finally stopped, and said that Eileen was badly beaten but still alive, and all three of them were just so exhausted they just went to sleep. Okay.
What?
And then Christina says, because this is her testifying, that it wasn't until she woke up the next morning that she realized Eileen was dead. Okay. You just beat the shit out of her and you think she's just going to be, okay, maybe she's scared of Zach. Okay, maybe she's scared.
No.
She said she only participated in the cover-up out of fear of what Zach might do to her. Bitch, you could like beat Zach. I mean, you could like injure Zach. But maybe Zach's rageful. I don't know. So, it's funny because Alex Morris is Zach's attorney. So it's like, Zach Morris. Ah! So his attorney was like, no, Christina acted alone and she was the murderer. And she beat Eileen up because she has homicidal intent, and then she wiped down the room, the motel room using vinegar, and that the reason that Zach's palm prints are on that curtain rod is because she made him go pick it up and move it, so it had his prints on it, and that Zach was fearful of Christina because of her father. Come on.
What?
So it took about 5 hours, because this is only Zach on trial, right? 5 hours of deliberation, and the jury reached a verdict, and they found Zach guilty of the lesser included, which is they found him guilty of second degree
How?
Just like Christina, because they couldn't decide if he had intent to kill.
Premeditated or if it was a fit of rage.
So either way, he...
Intent to kill, you beat her ass. Or like,
I think it's kind of like, this is kind of like what Sarah Boone is doing. It's like, did you intend to kill George when you zipped him up in the suitcase and you knew he couldn't get out, but you said you were scared of him and that he was going to get out the suitcase and beat you up, but you weren't that scared because you went upstairs to take a nap or to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You weren't that scared. So it's kind of like the same charges because she has second degree and unintentional.
That's what she's going for.
Yeah, there's something with manslaughter, but I get them all confused. I'm watching too many. I'm watching too many.
So
trials.
it's first degree murder or...
I think first degree is with intent, second degree is without intent.
But to prove intent, you have to prove that it's been planned, right? Premeditated, or that you just like...
Oh, I guess
that's
it would
what
be
you
manslaughter
wanted to
if
do.
it wasn't premeditated.
Okay.
I don't know if it depends on like the state. I don't think it... I mean, obviously that has to be set in stone, but I guess the charges can be different.
With intent. So he just wanted to whoop her ass with a shower rod.
Yeah.
Rape her, sodomize her.
And yeah.
But not kill her. Just hurt her really, really bad.
Just someone beat her to a pulp and then she's going to live. I'm going to keep doing it. So Zach never testified at his trial, but he spoke a little bit at his sentencing because, you know, he's found guilty. They found him guilty of, well, I guess it just depends on what the judge decides. Like if he's going to get a certain number or if he's going to, I guess it was like 25 to life or whatever the options were. And Zach, he told the court that he had stopped to grab a ring pop and he proposed to Aileen.
When?
With the ring pop at the hotel and asked her to marry him. And she said yes, and that they were going to leave and go their separate ways.
And then that's why Christina got pissed.
Found out.
That's why So Christina was like, remember when Aileen was like, I got to tell you something, I got to tell you something? That's what she told her.
Well, then she never told her.
That's Christina's story.
But then there were rumors that maybe she was pregnant.
Well, what did the autopsy say?
It didn't say. It didn't say that she was pregnant. Or it didn't say at all. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what to believe.
I don't either. Because you're just going to sit here and tell me that you grabbed a ring pop and you proposed to this girl and then y'all were going to leave, but then you beat the shit out of her and raped her with a stick? Okay. Judge response. I've been in the justice system in one form or another for 40 years. Rarely have I seen the sort of injuries that I saw on Aileen. And he also told Zach he wished he could impose a harsher punishment before sentencing him to maximum life in prison.
Without
parole, because that is not an option. So he's in life. I mean, he's in there for life. Christina was sentenced to 25 years. She's scheduled for her release in 2043, and she will be 63.
Oh, she's going to look even worse.
I cannot even imagine.
I have never been so in the middle of a story. Like, I don't know who is the worst culprit. I can see both stories. I can see him being, he's, doesn't react good to alcohol, but I can also see him getting drunk and passing out and her doing it all.
But she's also crazy because she's sending these crazy text messages and doing all the things and doing the most and being extra and
I always
not
like
in a
to
good way.
side with the boys, and that's probably my weakness, where I think she is the dirtiest, but I don't know.
Females,
I know, because we're smart.
No.
And
I wish I was crazy.
They always say whoever talks first gets the deal. And her daddy cop would have told her that.
Yep.
Did tell her that.
Yep.
Gets
and
the
was
deal.
like, you were part of this. You need to take and he even spoke. He's like telling her that he told her you need to take responsibility for this, and you need to tell the truth and be honest and go gain 500 pounds while you're there.
Gosh.
Girl.
If you're in jail, you got nothing else to do, you might as well get some degrees and get in shape.
Let's see, what's it called? I mean, I know. It's called. It is called Who Killed Aileen Seiden in Room 15? 48 hours.
48 hours.
But we're going to call it something about a thruple. They
thruple
really like
gone wrong.
Thruple gone wrong.
That is a new age vocabulary term. Has to be.
I've never heard thruple?
I don't think so. I thought that was a cat.
Oh my God, that does sound like a cat.
Is there a cat in here? No, that's the ambulance.
That's a cat doing it. You know what they sound like that when they're doing it. Like that. There's cats doing it on the roof of the alcove. We gotta go.
Oh, okay. Good story. Good story. And I'm stumped. So you guys tell us who you think did it. Was it Christina or Zach? We already know we can't trust Zach.
I feel like I can't trust Christina. I feel like Christina had a lot more to do with it.
Yeah. She's shady.
But Zach could never break up with her. Why could she? Why they? But they had a business together. Maybe
He
they
was scared of her.
I don't believe either one of them.
Don't
I think
forget.
they were both on it. Okay, bye.
They were both on.
I think they both did it. They just were both as guilty as the other.
And then when Zach spoke first, she was like, oh no, you're not about to put me in prison for life. Let me turn this around on you. Let me go to my daddy. I've been threatening y'all about.
Finally.
Okay. There you go. We'll see y'all next week for a whole new week of Bloody Happy Hour. Don't forget to
Stay aware.
stay alive.
And always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
Got a hair coming out.
Oh.
Oh.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support and a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.